People have been told to try the vegan diet, but what if their claims about living the healthy life were wrong? Multiple studies have been taken over the years, and they show that the vegan diet isn't as glamorous as they seem. The diet may have its pros, but the cons will make you think twice. Humans have been eating meat for over thousands of years. We evolved this way. Our bodies are perfectly capable of digesting, absorbing, and making full use of the nutrients found in animal foods. Many people choose veganism because they think it's cruel to take a life, but something dies no matter what you eat. For example, field mice were demolished in order to grow the corn for a box of vegan cereal. Veganism shouldn't be forced upon people, for many reasons. If you look past all the pros, you'll see that veganism is actually hurting your body. The proponents of vegan diets use lies and fear-mongering to promote their cause, and that there is no health reason to completely avoid animal foods. Veganism is actually hurting your body. Unlike K1, plants do not carry K2. Vitamin K2 is a shuttle that transports calcium into your bones. You can eat as much calcium as you want, but it won't strengthen your bones unless it's accompanied by K2. This is one reason why calcium supplements have bean cheese slice shown to increase the risk of plaque formation. The body can't use the calcium for building bones, so it stores in the arteries. Not giving your body the proper fuel it needs is stopping it from fully functioning, meaning drowsiness, illness, or decrease in strength. A girl named Jordan almost died from trying the vegan diet. In the beginning, she was first full of adrenaline and energy. For the first week, her body was being cleansed and detoxed, but after that first week, she began feeling stomach problems, but she continued with a strict diet. It was stopping me from leading a normal life, she said. After a few weeks, her lips started turning blue and her hair was falling out. She lost 25 pounds and was almost skeleton-like.
Over 56 billion animals are slaughtered each year and 3,000 every second for food. All animals in the meat, dairy, and egg industry are constantly abused and will all eventually be slaughtered. But is this really worth it? Do you really need to depend on these animals? The answer is no. There are many different ways to get the vitamins and nutrients that we need that is not from animals. For example, most fruits, vegetables, grains, beans, and nuts and seeds all contain the needed nutrients. And you can get these nutrients from supplements, which are way healthier to get specific nutrients. Veganism is a way of living which seeks to exclude all forms of exploitation of and cruelty to animals for food, clothing, or any other purpose. Vegans eat grains, beans, fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds. There's also vegan alternatives to animal-based foods. Consuming milk, eggs, and meat is bad for you because consuming animal products can increase the risk of heart issues, and that a vegan diet can help clear these issues. Also, consuming dairy can lead to multiple health issues, and lastly, consuming animal products can lead to a higher risk of cancer, and a vegan diet can help resolve these issues. My first claim is that eating an animal-based diet can cause an increased risk of heart problems, and that a vegan diet can help reverse it. Eating processed meat can increase your risk of heart disease by 72%, and a diet rich in vegetables and fruits reduce your risk of heart disease. According to WebMD, the liver makes all the cholesterol that our body needs. But more cholesterol can enter your body through only animal products. The cholesterol can build up in the arteries or blood vessels and create a narrow pathway for blood. When the blood flow is blocked or slowed down, it can lead to a heart attack. The National Cancer Institute did a study to find out if there is any relationship between the consumption of meat and an increased risk of death from illness. The study found that higher consumption of red and processed meats was associated with the increased risk of heart disease and cancer deaths. In 2005, a study was published in the American Journal of Epidemiology about the link between animal products and heart problems. There was 29,000 participants. Those who ate the most meat were also at the greatest risk for heart disease. Lastly, in the documentary Forks Over Knives, they talk about an example with the Germans. When the Nazis invaded Norway in 1940, the people were forced to mainly eat plant-based foods like bread and vegetables. From the start of that year, the number of deaths from heart disease drastically dropped, as you can see in this photo. And in 1944, the meat, dairy, and eggs came back, and so is the huge numbers of deaths from heart disease. All these studies and pieces of evidence prove the fact that eating an animal-based diet can cause an increased risk of heart problems, for example, heart disease and heart attacks.
Vegan diets use lies and fear-mongering to promote their cause. Some vegan proponents aren't very honest when they try and convince others that the virtues of the vegan diet. They actively use lies and fear-mongering to scare people away from fat and animal foods. There isn't really evidence that meat, eggs, or animal-derived nutrients like saturated fat or cholesterol cause harm. Did you know that eating healthy can cause a sickness? It's called orthorexia. It's an obsession with eating food that one considers healthy. Why would promoters use lies in order to get people on their side? It's like they're hiding us from seeing something that'll make us think otherwise.
My second claim is that consuming dairy can lead to many different types of health issues. In the Nurses' Health Study, it states how dairy can increase the risk of fractures by 50%. Dr. Mark Hyman states that countries with the lowest rates of dairy consumption, for example Africa and Asia, have the lowest rates of osteoporosis. Osteoporosis is the condition where bones become brittle and weak. According to Laura Mitchell, dairy milk contains a hormone that can lead to many different types of diseases. Bovine is a growth hormone that is injected into a cow on a weekly basis, which makes cows bigger to produce more milk. So when people drink milk, they could be drinking bovine. And according to the China study, bovine causes the chemical IGF-1 to be released, which has been linked to multiple diseases, for example, breast and prostate cancer, hypertension, diabetes, and many more. Also, the vegan activist states milk is an animal protein, which is too acidic for the human body. And in order to balance this acidity, the body takes away calcium from our bones. This results in the weakening of bones and makes the bones more likely to fracture. These pieces of evidence were significant because it shows us how dairy can lead to a higher chance of fractures and multiple diseases. With this evidence, it supports my thesis by saying how dairy is bad for your body.
There is no health reason to completely avoid animal foods. Like in the introduction, humans evolved eating meat. Saturated fat has never been proven to lead to heart disease. A study of almost 350,000 individuals found literally no association between saturated fat consumption and cardiovascular disease. Studies on eggs show no effect either. The thing is that animal foods, meat, fish, eggs, and dairy products, for those who tolerate them, are extremely nutritious. They are loaded with high-quality protein, healthy fats, vitamins, minerals, various lesser-known nutrients that have important effects on health. There may be ethical, religious reasons not to eat animals, and I respect that. But other than that, there is no scientifically valid reason to completely eliminate animal foods. Why is veganism being forced upon people? It seems like all the pros are overshadowing the cons. Study has shown eating a strict plant-based diet is depriving your body from a full-fueled, balanced meal. No evidence has shown to fully avoid animal foods due to health reasons, but the media use lies and fear to drive the viewer away into thinking otherwise. In my opinion, veganism is not for everyone. Everyone has their own success stories, while others have horrible results. So before taking the big leap of becoming vegan, think about how it might affect you in the future.
My last claim is that consuming animal products can lead to a higher risk of cancer and that a vegan diet can help clear these issues. A new study just out of Loma Linda University, funded by the National Cancer Institute, reported that vegans have lower rates of cancer than both meat eaters and vegetarians. Vegan women, for example, had 34% lower rates of female-specific cancers such as breast, cervical, and ovarian cancer. Also, a Swedish study from 1997 to 1980 showed that women who consumed 4 or more servings of dairy products were twice as likely to develop serious ovarian cancer, opposed to those who had none. Last but not least, Dr. T. Colin Campbell studied the impact of animal protein on health. He found out that casein or milk protein promoted cancer in all stages of its development. The amount of cancer growth could be controlled based on the amount of casein in the diet. Reporter David Templeton talks about Catherine Switz Cohen. She was diagnosed with an aggressive form of breast cancer, which made her go through 8 rounds of chemotherapy instead of 4, and had to go through radiation therapy. She soon became vegan and started yoga. In follow-up tests with her radiologist, there is no signs of cancer or not even a single shadow of a foreign tumor. The reason why I included these pieces of evidence is because it shows us what really is a huge cause of cancer. After many studies, it is obvious that dairy, eggs, and meat can be a huge factor of the cause of cancer. Overall, it's obvious that consuming eggs, dairy, and meat are bad for you, and I've been able to show you that. There's been many studies to tell us that the result in eating animal-based products. The side I stand on is the one that can save many lives.
Meat doesn't raise your risk of cardiovascular disease. The truth is that humans are omnivores, despite of what vegan proponents would have you believe. We function best both eating both animals and plants. Studies now show that saturated fat in the diet does not raise the bad cholesterol in the blood, and it is not in any way associated with heart disease. Meat does in fact help your heart's performance. Yes, unprocessed food does have its risks, but anything you cook does. Drinking milk helps your body. The men with greater consumption of milk experience a reduction of risk in ischemic and adenic blood flow, stroke, and possible reduction of ischemic heart disease risk. Milk is one of the things that help children grow and become stronger. Not consuming milk has resulted to diarrhea and loss of protein as well. Meat only has a 5 to 6% risk of cancer. It is a known fact that anything you cook and consume causes cancer. But scientific evidence linking both processed meat and tobacco to certain types of cancer is strong. In that sense, both are carcinogens, but smoking increases your relative risk of cancer by 250,000. That means your risk of getting colorectal cancer over your life goes over about 5 to 6%. It is true that eating processed meat causes cancer, but considering the fact that more people smoke than eat meat only causes a 5 to 6% chance of cancer.
Veganism is not hurting your body, but is protecting the body from multiple types of diseases and other health problems. Like I stated earlier, Catherine Spritz-Cohen was diagnosed with an aggressive form of breast cancer, which made her go through 8 rounds of chemotherapy instead of 4, and had to go through radiation therapy. She soon became vegan and started yoga. In follow-up tests with her radiologist, there was no signs of cancer or not even a shadow of a former tumor. Anthony Kwan was diagnosed with ALS, a disease that is said not to be reversible. Before he became paralyzed, he used his little energy left to research health and diet correlations with ALS. He soon became vegan, a plant-based diet, and after many years of being paralyzed, he slowly started to gain some control of his body, and is still right now. These two people have gone through things that are almost impossible to fight, but with a vegan/plant-based diet, it has shown results that can't be shown by eating more animal-based products or taking more pills. Actually, you are incorrect. Not all vegans use fear to promote their cause. There are people called doctors and scientists who have studied this, and a huge portion of why people promote this is because of health reasons. The vegan diet has been studied by many doctors. Some of the most famous are Dr. Colin T. Campbell, Dr. Esselstyn, and Dr. McDougall. Dr. T. Colin Campbell was most famous for the research he did with a plant-based/vegan diet called the China Study. Although people state that he has debunked all of his research, Dr. Campbell contains very big points in why a vegan/plant-based diet is better than an animal-based one. Dr. Esselstyn is named one of the top 150 doctors in America. He is most known for his research on many types of diseases and followed a plant-based/vegan diet for 36 years. Dr. McDougall has been studying nutrition and disease for over 30 years. He treats his patients with a vegetarian diet. All these people have been studying nutrition and disease for many years. The research they have found out all proven that a vegan diet can save you from many types of diseases. Actually, you are incorrect, because eggs, dairy, and meat all affect the body in the same or different harmful ways. According to the vegan activists, eggs are very high in fat, saturated fat, and cholesterol. These things can increase the risk of heart disease. Also, with the salmonella in eggs, it makes it unsafe for consumption, and it is estimated more than 140,000 people die each year from salmonella poisoning. Like eggs, meat is very high in fat, saturated fat, and cholesterol. All these things can increase the risk of heart disease and diabetes. Most meat contains antibiotics with growth hormones, which can promote cancer growth. Also, fish is often contaminated with mercury, which can cause brain damage and can lead to a fatal heart attack. Like I stated earlier, milk is an animal protein which is too acidic for the human body. In order to balance this acidity, the body takes away calcium and another chemical element from our bones. Everyone says that milk gives us strong bones, but the countries with the highest dairy consumptions all have the highest rates of osteoporosis. Osteoporosis is a condition where bones become weak and brittle. Eggs, dairy, and meat all end up harming the body in different ways. This shows that there is a health reason to completely avoid animal foods.